Welcome back. So we're going to finish up chapter 13 and looking at the workplace and how it affects us. In this segment, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about women in the workforce. And that's important to understand that there are more women in the workforce than there has ever been before, and we expect that to continue on. So it's more socially acceptable for women to work and to have a variety of occupations, which simply wasn't the case 100 years ago. That does not mean things are equal for women yet in the workplace, but that we're moving in that direction. You may have heard or probably have heard of the glass ceiling. That does still exist. And in fact, when addressing women of color specifically, sometimes it is referred to as a concrete wall. And the reason for that is it is just so incredibly hard to break through, where you can see it, but you can't achieve it, which is the feeling of the glass ceiling. And in some cases, you can't even see it. It just feels like it's completely out of touch. Again, things are getting better, but it is still really hard because there's just not enough women in positions of power that help to influence policy or things that are holding women back. But things are progressing, both as women advance, which is huge, also as men and policies are being written that are more fair, and that people are looking for more equality in the workplace. There is another phenomenon you might not have heard about, and it's called the sticky floor. And the sticky floor is basically where women get stuck in low-paying jobs that for whatever reason, because of other constraints, other responsibilities, lack of education, lack of something, sometimes it's opportunity or policies that are interfering, that they're unable to leave those lower-paying jobs, and that pulls the mean down. Something else to be aware of is when organizations go through what is considered token improvement, and that just means that there's only one or two females that are moved into higher positions, enough to show that we've made effort, but not enough to actually make a big influence. So this is a token. That doesn't mean women shouldn't do those things. It just means we don't just want one or two women to be able to advance in an organization, particularly those organizations that are particularly hard for women to break into, but we want policies put in place so that women have the opportunity to advance if they choose to do so. So that's something to be aware of as well. So when we see that advancement, that one guy breaking through doesn't necessarily mean that the path is cleared. But again, things are getting better. Slowly but surely, but they are getting better in opportunities. Every woman should have the same opportunity as men, and then if they choose to take it, they take it or not. That's a personal choice, but we should have equal opportunities. Women are advancing, policies are changing, and attitudes are changing. So that's a very good thing. Companies, to avoid this, need to be proactive. They need to seek out and promote a diverse workforce, including women and people of different cultures. And they need to ensure that their policies reflect that practice. There are a lot of policies in a lot of organizations that are very, very dated. So taking the opportunity to look at those policies and saying, are these the best ones? And are they describing where we want to go with our company? The workplace is a major form of stress for many people. About 75% of people interviewed said that the workplace is a place of stress for them. So as we talk about adjustment, as we talk about the things that influence us, that is certainly a big one. Why? Why are we feeling stressed in the workplace? Well, there's a lot of reasons. People feeling that they're overworked, environments that are noisy or too chaotic, odd hours, pressures placed on them from the workplace, lack of control over their jobs, inadequate resources, inequalities at work, environmental conditions that are not positive, fear of being downsized, concerns over healthcare benefits, worries about other people in the office or how you're being treated, office conflicts, and not getting along with our supervisors, as well as things like needing to change to new technology and sexual harassment. So there's a lot of reasons why the workplace can be tough. Additional stressors that you might find in the workplace, including that being in an occupation or being stuck in an occupation or a job where you're just not treated well by customers or others. The economy being so unpredictable, especially in jobs that are influenced on the economy, like if the economy's good, people buy this, that type of thing. Technology changing so fast, it can be hard to keep up with. The workplace becoming more diverse, which is a good thing actually, but what it does mean is if I'm not used to dealing with a diverse population, it may be add a stressor for me because I'm not used to dealing with anybody who's different than me. In psychological demands, such as not having control over the workplace environment. And these stressors, a lot of them we just went through, they end up affecting our health and our performance and can lead to things like burnout, that we just can't stand going to work because of all of this that's out there. With that said, on the back end is losing a job. Losing a job can be extremely stressful for a person, particularly it seems to have a particular influence on the middle-aged worker who may have a family who is already dependent on them and have set bills that they have acquired, and now all of a sudden they don't have an income source for that. Especially the other problem for the middle-ager tends to be that they are already set in their career. So they see themselves, that's part of their identity, and then somebody takes it away and they're no longer that. So what am I now? Where do I go from here? So it can be very, very difficult. For the young person who hasn't found their way yet, they just get another job. But for an older person who's established, it can be much harder. What do you do if you're unemployed? It's happened. Businesses change, get taken over, downsized. It's not your fault, but it did happen. The first thing to do is to seek out unemployment benefits as soon as possible. Those will help you through the bridge. The second is to look at your budget and make sure that you're not putting things in your budget that you don't need and are budgeting it appropriately. The third is to see if you can find ways to lower your expenses. Are there things that you did that you don't necessarily need to do during this gap period? The fourth is to make sure that you stay healthy, and then to ask for support and help, and then to get organized and to get going. Rather than wallowing or get upset, the next job may be even better. There's a better opportunity out there for you, but you have to be serious about it and you have to go out there and seek that job. Rarely will people come knocking on your door and go, hey, Jim, John, Joey, Janie, I heard you lost your job and I got a great job for you. Want to come to work on Monday? It just doesn't work that way. You want to expect to spend 15 to 25 hours a week seeking your new job. So it is a job to get a new job, and you need to look at it that way. But if you put the effort forth and you do what you need to do, you'll be much more likely to get the results that you want, rather than being at the mercy of whatever happens. One of the most important things is to make sure that you have an excellent resume. And I really want to stress that. We no longer necessarily mail them out the way we did. We don't look for jobs in the newspaper, but you want to have an excellent resume that reflects why your employer would want you. If you have not taken the career services class in IDS, I would encourage you to do that. If you have elective time or the ability to take it, it's a great class. It will talk to you about letters of interest, writing a resume, and really promoting yourself and getting a job. So if you have time, take that course. It's a great one to help you get ready for that. And you do have career resources here at school that will help you as well. And last but not least, make sure you're practicing your interview skills. You don't want to get in the door with that great resume that you've written and then not be able to perform well in the interview. So practice your interview skills with somebody else is one of the best ways. So good luck, and I will see you back for chapter 14. We are almost to the end of the book. See you soon.